Good morning, everybody. We're going to first start at the very top. And at the very top, you're going to see where it says activity period homeroom up here at the very top. Where activity period homeroom, we like to start everybody in the first course in which they are teaching with content. So on this particular drop down, we're starting with ELA kindergarten. So I'm going to select the words ELA kindergarten, and it will replicate up here at the top on this blue bar in the middle of your screen at the top. Next, we're going to cut away for just a second as we transition to the blue tab word called students. Okay, so here we are on the screen. Sorry for the delay. We were getting our screen situated for you so you had exactly what you needed in front. So over here on the left-hand side, I have clicked on the words students. And when you click on the word students, you're going to see the words standard progress. Standard progress, let me talk about this for just a brief second. Standard progress is what you'll be putting your numeric values of 1, 2, 3, and 4. The numeric value is what's going to, or what you're used to seeing and what you're used to putting on the old K-2 report card. You'll see here on the first column, you have your standards, you have your goal, and then you have your objectives. Your standard is the overarching right here. It's on that first row. What happens inside PowerSchool is this. We recommend that you go ahead and start putting in your numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, starting at the lowest side of the objective. So for instance, I'm going to click here in this empty space, and it's across from RFK 1A. And I can then go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, as you see, I have clicked into this row, into the numeric area or the column called Q1. And you see on the far right, I have a calculator sitting here. I can use it both ways. I can either press the button here, 1, 2, 3, 4, or I can use my keypad on my keyboard. Either way. So as you go through your objectives, here's 1A, and I'm just going to put numbers here so you can start to see the calculation.
Lisa, make it larger, please. Thanks.
I'm going to give it 1 second to refresh. So give it 1 second. Let me go one more.
And guys, you didn't miss anything from it pausing. Lisa actually took you back to where you were up under the students tab. I know a little bit of you in the chat were confused saying to go back, but she actually did go back to the tab of students. We had a little pause and technical difficulty, so that's why the transition was silent for a little bit, but she did go back and you did not miss anything.
So we're going to be on this screen for quite some time. There's a lot of stuff here that's going to be able to help you enter your grades in. So let's talk about a few things. So here is that objective. I've entered in a grade of a 4. I can use my arrow key on my keypad, or I can use my arrow keys here on the actual calculator on the right-hand side. So as I use my arrow key on the top right-hand side where you see the name of the objective, I'm going to arrow down, and you'll see on my screen in the column for Q1, it is jumped down 1. I'm going to enter in another score. I'll arrow down. And I'm going to concentrate on just this one set of objectives. I want to talk to you about some things that you see on your screen in that particular column. One, you'll see this little triangle on the top left corner of each of these boxes. It means that it's manually overriding and putting a number in there. Next, the gear that is above the objective for the goal. This gear means that it will calculate the four numbers that I have put there, taking the highest. So the green button, when I hit save at the bottom right-hand corner, it will actually calculate and start moving things, start calculating your numbers to move into that slot. I'm going to continue first beforehand and go down the rest of this column so then you can start to see how the overall grade for RK reading will populate. So here for this next standard, I'm going to put a number. And again, this is just for demonstration purposes that I am putting the numbers in here. Just so that you then can see, excuse me, I'm doing objectives first. And as you see, as I have jumped through, here is another gear because it's going to roll up. It will roll up. And then down below, there's another set of them. And as you see, that gear appears. Now, not to be funny, but I make errors all the time. And I see here, I have a manual override here for an actual standard or a goal, excuse me, and to figure out why that doesn't have a gear. So I can click here in this empty space, and to the right on my calculator, you're going to see a refresh button. It's this circular with an arrow. If I click there, it's going to take that manual override out. And you'll see in a second that a gear will appear. Okay, so now inside, after I've put in my scores, after I've put in my scores for the objectives, once I hit save here on the bottom right, these gears should turn into highest value, and it should go all the way up to the actual standard. Clicking save and refreshing my page. And going back to students, to standards progress. And starting the process again. Here we go. Second time around. Here we go. So I click into the objective and I start putting random numeric values in here as a demonstration for today. I will try to be quicker so I do not time out. I'm going to skip over, actually cannot skip over. If there is a standard in here or an objective goal that is here and it is singular without objectives underneath it, you then can put in your number. Back to my objectives. And I'm going everything to calculate to roll up so that my RK reading standard actually calculates. And I'm going to hit save. Ta-da! And here it is. So here you are. So it has looked over in each of the sets. So here is a set A, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. It is taking those four numeric values and rolling up to RFK1, which is giving its value. Then it's going to take the goals, which we have here in this grade level, 1 goal, 2, 3, 4. It's going to then roll up to the actual goal itself, which you have RFK foundational skills, and it has literature. Then it's going to roll up from there and do RK reading as the standard. And like I said, you then from there click save. Okay, so now that's how we enter in our numbers. Well, let's talk about the calculator on the right-hand side. Let's go through some details. Some details here for you. You have available to you the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the calculator. Like I said before, you can use these numbers on your screen using your mouse and just clicking which ones you choose, or you can use your keypad on your keyboard. Now, if in fact you make a mistake and you need to take a number out, you can use this backspace icon right here. And if you need to refresh your correction that you have made, you would then use the refresh button right next to the backspace button. Those are some really key common errors that we run into that make it really helpful for you to utilize those buttons. Above this area, you have Q1, which is your reporting term. Currently, right now, we are finishing Q1. And as you move into Q2, this arrow to the right would then bump you over to the next column. Next, above that is your actual standard goal and objective numbers, where you can put your cursor. I'm going to put my cursor in RFK1, and you'll see it replicate up here on this pop-out calculator. And then I can go from one standard goal or objective by using the arrow down and the arrow up. If you choose not to use the arrows here, on your keypad, you can put your numeric value and hit the enter button, and it would do the same. Now, for some reason, if in fact you have not covered a standard goal or objective that is listed in the quarter, you have the capability at the lower end of this calculator to use the word exempt. Exempt is a dash that sits. This will be the icon that is used in addition to or taking out a number. So for this 4 that I have highlighted in the column, if I click exempt, you'll see that my 4 has gone italicized. If I take out the 4 by using the backspace, you'll see the exempt slash or icon that shows. To remove the icon, I can click on the words exempt on the calendar, or on the calculator, excuse me, and I can refresh it, which then allows me to push a new number in there. And then I can give the appropriate grade for that student. If in fact you are going to leave a blank area, whether it has been completed or the goal has been met, if in fact you need to leave something empty, we recommend you using and strongly recommend using the exempt function so that it is used to hold, and it's essentially used so that there is something in that box but is not counted against the student in calculation. Exempt is exactly that. It has no numeric value to calculate. We try to make it where that there is no empty spaces, because usually that means we've missed something. So just keep that in mind. That exempt tool is sitting here for you to help you. So if in fact it has not been met, then you can use that exempt button. Scrolling back up to the top, as you see here on the calculator, you have like a little keypad that sits. This keypad is the icon to be used, like I said, for that numeric input. But over to the right, because I know a lot of you have questions, to the right is a chat bubble. This chat bubble is for comments. I'm going to click on that chat bubble so you see it pop out. And when you see it pop out in front of you on the screen, it looks sort of blank. Down below, Show Comment Bank sits here. I want you to click, once you're in your own gradebook, you can click here, and the district comment bank will appear. I'm going to scroll down just a little so you can see some of these items. So in here, you have 53 items that have been pushed from PowerSchool based on comments. When you find certain comments that you like to use, such as students demonstrate a positive attitude towards assignments, students make a conscious effort to participate in class, when you want a certain comment to apply, you can come over to the right-hand column where the plus button is and click the plus button. It would then add that comment to the student and objective that you're on. If you see that you're starting to use certain comments often, over to the left, you have a favorites star that you can star different comments that you prefer to use or that you don't have to search for. When you hit this little toggle word favorite and toggle, it will toggle all the favorites that you have starred to the top. To get back to the calculator, you would then go back to the top of your pop-out box here where the calculation keypad icon is and click the calculation icon. Remember, as you input scores and numbers inside your column 1 for quarter 1, you need to make sure you save by clicking the green button. Understand though, if you forget and you just jump to another screen, it will prompt you to save. I'm going to hit save. And it says my data has saved with a green bar at the top. Next, we know we wanted to show you a little bit about report carding and just reports. So we're going to toggle over to what is called an individual standards progress report. In the next 4 weeks, you're going to probably be doing progress reports. And this is just a way for you to be able to print. Keep in mind also that all the information that we are doing today will be inside a course that Stephanie will talk about in just a little bit.